My name is Daniel, and for most of my marriage, I thought I understood what trust meant. My wife, Claire, worked as a project manager at a marketing firm, the kind of role that often demanded late nights, networking dinners, and the occasional out-of-town conference. I never questioned it much. Claire was ambitious, polished, and persuasive. People gravitated toward her, and I admired that about her. So, when she told me she had a 3-day conference in Chicago, I didn't think twice. She left with a carefully packed suitcase, business suits pressed and ready, and a promise that she'd call every night. For the first 2 days, she kept her word, short phone calls just before bed. Her voice tired but steady, talking about the workshops, the networking, the endless coffee. But on the last night, she didn't call. Midnight came and went. My texts sat unread. My mind tried to reason it away. Maybe she was exhausted, maybe her phone had died, maybe she just needed a night of real sleep. Still, unease gnawed at me. At 12:47 a.m., I heard the front door unlock. Claire stepped inside, heels dangling from one hand, her hair slightly tousled as though she had run her fingers through it too many times. She froze when she saw me awake on the couch. "You're still up?" she asked, surprised. "I couldn't sleep," I said. "I was waiting." She forced a smile. "The flight was delayed, and then the cab took forever. I didn't want to wake you." Her explanation was neat, rehearsed almost. She gave me a quick kiss on the cheek and disappeared into the bathroom. Moments later, the sound of the shower filled the silence between us. Something in me stirred. Something sharp, suspicious, but I swallowed it down. Paranoia wasn't my style. Claire had never given me concrete reasons to doubt her before. And yet, her eyes had avoided mine. Her smile didn't reach her face, and she seemed too careful, too measured. By morning, I decided not to dwell. I made breakfast like I usually did, eggs, toast, and black coffee. Claire came downstairs wearing one of my old college hoodies, looking casual, like the businesswoman from last night had vanished. She sat at the table scrolling through her phone, half listening as I talked about the day ahead. Then I noticed something small but damning. When she set her phone down to sip her coffee, the screen lit up with a notification. A message preview. Just 4 words. "Last night was perfect." Time seemed to freeze. My breath caught. I didn't move, didn't speak, but my heart hammered against my chest. Claire picked up the phone almost immediately, locking it with a swift tap of her finger, but she was too late. She saw in my face that I had read it. Her lips parted as if to explain, but no words came. "Who was that?" I asked, my voice steady, though inside I was anything but calm. She hesitated, then forced a laugh. "Oh, it's nothing. Just a colleague being silly." "Perfect," I repeated, my eyes fixed on her. The color drained from her face. She looked down at her coffee cup like it suddenly held all the answers she couldn't find. In that moment, every late night, every vague explanation, every half-hearted smile came rushing back. The puzzle pieces I had ignored started clicking together, forming a picture I didn't want to see. I pushed my plate away. "Claire, don't lie to me. Not now." Her hands trembled slightly as she set the cup down. "Daniel, please. It's not what you think. But the thing about betrayal is that it doesn't need confirmation. The moment you see it, the moment you feel it in your bones, it's already real." I stood from the table, a hollow silence stretching between us. "Then tell me exactly what I should think," I said. Her eyes filled with tears, and for the first time in years, I saw fear on her face. Not fear of me, but of losing the control she thought she had. Claire didn't answer right away. She pressed her palms flat against the table, staring at the wood grain as if searching for a way out. When her voice finally came, it was shaky, stripped of her usual confidence. "It was a mistake," she whispered. "A mistake." 2 words that carried the weight of a wrecking ball. I had heard enough stories from friends, coworkers, even my own brother, to know what those words really meant. Mistakes don't send text messages about perfect nights. Mistakes don't come home at 1 in the morning, hair out of place, with excuses rehearsed. I didn't shout. I didn't slam a fist or break a plate. Instead, I felt an icy calm settle over me, the kind that comes when the truth has finally stepped out from the shadows. "Who is he?" I asked. Claire bit her lip. "Someone from the conference." It didn't mean anything. I was drunk, lonely. "Stop." My voice cut through her excuses. "Don't insult me by dressing it up as loneliness. I was here. Every night. Every morning. You chose him." Her tears spilled, but they weren't for me. They were for herself, for the fear of exposure, the collapse of the story she had been weaving. I walked away from the table, grabbing my jacket from the chair. Claire's voice followed me, rising with panic. "Daniel, please. It won't happen again. I swear. We can fix this." I turned back to her, really looking at her. For years I had been the one holding our marriage steady, ignoring the cracks, convincing myself that work stress and fatigue explained everything. But now I saw it clearly. Claire didn't want fixing. She wanted covering. "You broke something you can't glue back together," I said quietly. I left the house, needing air, needing space. The morning sun was just breaking through the clouds. Yet I felt as though the world had dimmed. I walked for what felt like hours, my thoughts unraveling in slow motion. When I returned home, Claire was still at the kitchen table, phone clutched in her hand, eyes red. She looked up at me as if expecting mercy. "But mercy has limits." "I want you to pack a bag," I said. "Go stay with a friend. I need you out of this house." Her jaw dropped. "Daniel, you can't be serious. This is our home." "It was our home," I corrected. "Now it's just a reminder of what you threw away." She begged. She pleaded, even tried to shift the blame. Said I hadn't been attentive enough, that the marriage had grown cold. I listened without interrupting, but inside I knew it was all noise. Every relationship has struggles. Betrayal is a choice, not a symptom. Finally, she left. A suitcase in hand, shoulders hunched. No more words left to twist. I watched her drive off, the car shrinking in the distance, and with it, the illusion of the life I thought I had. The days that followed were strange, quiet, but not empty. Friends reached out, some with sympathy, others with cautious questions. I didn't broadcast what happened, but word has a way of spreading. And oddly enough, I didn't feel the shame I thought I would. Instead, there was a steady strength, a sense that I had faced the ugliest truth and survived it. A week later, I received an email. It wasn't from Claire. It was from a man named Ryan. The subject line read, "I think we need to talk." Against my better judgment, I opened it. Ryan introduced himself as the husband of one of Claire's colleagues. His wife had confessed after returning from the same conference, confessed about an affair with a married man. He wanted to know if Claire was the woman. I stared at the screen, the puzzle clicking together in one final, cruel way. Claire hadn't just betrayed me. She had been part of a chain of lies, one that left more than one family fractured. I wrote back only one sentence. Yes, it was her. No more explanations. No more excuses. When Claire finally called me days later, sobbing about mistakes and second chances, I didn't answer. Instead, I sent her a short message. "You ended our marriage at midnight. The morning just confirmed it." And with that, I blocked her number. For the first time in years, the silence around me didn't feel like loss. Felt like freedom.